Hey girls, so this video today, what to talk about really, is about imposter syndrome versus lack of peace. Many of us women, we face imposter syndrome, and it's like we feel like a fraud. And if you know that feeling, comment down below. Okay, feel as though we're not qualified for the position that we have. We feel like, especially when you're in the workplace, you feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Help. Like you feel like you're underqualified. Maybe you feel like because you're in a certain position, you feel underqualified, that your degree doesn't match up to the specifications of the job. You feel like, yeah, you just feel like an imposter in the workplace. So it causes you to hide. You feel like you don't want people to know that you don't know what you're doing. So you tend to hide when it comes to team meetings. You feel like you need to hide when it comes to like speaking out about certain things, or and you try to and you don't seek help because you don't want to feel like you don't know what you're doing out of fear of being fired, right? If you know what I'm talking about, comment down below. You may even have imposter syndrome in relationships, or you want to start something new. Maybe you want to start a business. You feel like an imposter. You feel like you can't do it because of your past. Maybe you feel like your past, like for example, let's say you want to start a channel like me, like you want to talk to people, you want to help people, but you feel like you're not where you want to be yet. So you feel like a fraud by giving advice because you're not where you want to be. But at the end of the day, your story and where you are now can still have positive impact on someone, right? So that's the enemy's way of getting you to not believe in yourself, to get you to a place where you won't speak out or you won't help others because he wants you to doubt yourself. He wants you to doubt what God has called you to do. He wants you to doubt that light within you to help others. And he wants you to be in that place where you're in the dark, where you won't speak out so that others will not be set free and others will not receive their breakthrough through you sharing your testimony, sharing your story, helping others, right? So he wants you to be in that place where you don't chat, you don't say nothing. So you don't like impact the lives that you're supposed to impact. And once you realize that this is a battlefield, we live in a spiritual world. This is a battlefield. It's either the enemy or you're on the Lord's side. And we're on the Lord's side. Hello. So we need to understand that when there's a resistance, you need to understand, why is there such resistance? Like, why is it when I'm trying to start something new that the enemy just wants to plant lies in my head? He wants to make me doubt myself. He doesn't want you to prosper. He wants you to stay in the same place so you don't impact the lives that you're supposed to impact, so you don't make a change. But when I talk about a lack of peace, right? When it comes to lack of peace, if there's lack of peace, then that must mean that God isn't within it. Because sometimes what God gives us to do will come with confirmation, right? It will come with peace. Because once you step into it fully, you will feel a certain peace within you. And you would feel, okay, now I'm like, once you actually tap into it, you feel, okay, right, so this is maybe what I'm called to do, right? I'm meant to help others. But if you feel a lack of peace, like you just feel like dead within, like inside, and you don't feel like you're progressing, you just feel like you're hitting a brick wall, then you really might need to rethink and go back to God and ask him, did he actually say this? Because many of us, we feel like God has called us into that certain career or into that certain business, but God maybe is calling you into something different, but he wants you to develop skills where you are now, right? But we also need to understand that there's a time limit on certain things. That okay, you've been at this job, but he's saying it's time to move forward. Like the reason why your peace is being taken from you is because you need to step out and you need to get out. You need to get out. You need to get your behind out and you need to do what I've called you to do, right? Because you've had the experience, you've learned, time to move out. You need to start your own thing. Maybe God is calling you to start your business, but you're still in that career. But he's saying, I didn't call you to a 9 to 5. He's calling you to business. Why are you in that 9 to 5? Right? Your peace is being taken from you. Every day you wake up, you're crying. Every day you wake up, you're crying. Every Monday, you want to off yourself because you're at this job. What is saying? It's time to get up. Why are you still here? You've learned what you need to learn. You've developed skills. Now it's time to get up and start your own thing, right? But obviously, I'm just saying what I'm saying. But obviously, seek God in your situation, right? I don't know who I'm speaking to. This might be for someone, but what I'm saying, God is saying you need to start something, right? If there's a lack of peace, you need to go back to God and you need to ask Him, did you really call me into this position? Did you call me to do this? Did you call me to do that? Because we might feel like we have imposter syndrome, or maybe it might be imposter syndrome. Maybe that's why we have the lack of peace, but it's not. It might be because God isn't calling you into that, and you're thinking that God has called you into that, but He might not have. So this is why you have to constantly you have to go back to your creator and ask him, did you say that? Did you actually say that? Or was it just me and my thoughts, my flesh thinking about the easy way out, Because sometimes we think about the easy way out. But once there's lack of peace and you feel like you're hitting a brick wall, a big a brick wall. So we're doing it before, but it's like now all of a sudden you just feel something deep within you. It's like you're not where you're supposed to be. You're not living to what God has called you to do. You just have this urge within you, like you just feel like, God, did you actually say this? Then this means you need to go back to God and ask Him and consistently seek Him, consistently fast. Ask God, did you call me to this? Because where you was, probably He wanted you to develop skills so that you can take those skills that you've learned and to start your own thing. Or maybe He's calling you into a different career path and like you develop skills in that certain area so that He can take you into something new. This is not for everybody, by the way, but there's many of us that face imposter syndrome, they really do. But then there's a lack of peace, and it can easily be intertwined, but it's not the same thing because you can have imposter syndrome, but God is still like calling you into that specific place. But He just wants you to understand who you are, understand your calling, understand that it's okay to face imposter syndrome, but this is still where I want you to be. I want you to develop into that person you want to be. You may feel underqualified, but God has still called you to that position because He sees your potential. He knows what you're good at. He knows who you are and how you can make an impact in that place. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. I don't know if this touches somebody, but all the what I'm trying to say is seek God in that aspect. Like go back to God and ask Him. Like actually pray, sit down, pray. God, did you call me into this field? Did you call me to do this business? Did you call me to do this career? If you're calling me to something else, Father Lord, make it clearer to me so that I'm not chasing the wind. This is the word. I've always used that phrase, chasing the wind, because when I read it in the word, I was like, that's actually mad, we're chasing the wind. Yeah, just do not believe what the enemy is saying. Combat the lies because He's called you to it. So it's up to you to rise to the occasion. So yeah, I hope this message